Hey, my friends, it is Jen. Welcome back. I have another Journal with Me video for you today, and I'm going to be working in my composition notebook. And it's getting a little chunky. I'm liking it. And yeah, I don't think I'm halfway done, but I'm getting there. I'm filling it up and I'm getting very pleased with myself. So I'm going to be starting off by grabbing the pictures that I want to journal about and some of the ephemera and collage sheets from myself and from other artists. And today's journal is going to be about visiting, or well, actually discovering a fairy garden in my neighborhood, and it was really, really cool. So I'm hunting for any kind of fairy related or mysterious or magical kind of images to start off by. So yeah, that's my little storage box, and you can see I have collage sheets from Pocket Journal Pam and Terribly Creative and Susie's Tiny Desk, which I end up using most of her things for this journaling session. And I also have art from Jenna Templeton. So if you haven't had a chance, really check them out. They're very talented artists. Yeah, and so this is my little storage box. This is like a plastic project box, and I think I got it from Walmart last year. And it houses collage sheets and little ephemera bits, and as well as photographs that I want to journal in. So I'm trying not to overflow this and just keep it to this little container. It's so hard though. I still have even more collage sheets stashed away from my friends. So I decided I'm going to continue to use these little table scatter stars and moon that I got in a package from Walmart in the birthday section, and it's made out of really thick chipboard, and it has glitter on them, on the stars and the moon, and there's two different stars and a crescent moon, and there's so many in the package. I'm not sure if they still have it, but I still have them in supply, so I'm going to be decorating with those to help talk about the fairy garden. So you can see I'm cutting the pictures, and what I do is I arrange the photos that I want to print out that week on a new project in my in oh my gosh, Procreate. On my iPad, I make kind of like a collage sheet of photos, and then I print them using just my Epson presentation paper. I was using regular photo, like glossy photo paper, but I didn't like how it looked, and it would scratch really easily. I'm hoping one day to try out the Canon selfie printer, but I'm just holding off still. So I use my corner rounder there, and that's a really nice tool I got from Amazon, and just to round out the edges on these pictures. And I'm cutting out an image from my most recent collage sheets, but I didn't end up using him. So, but at least I have him ready to go. And I cut out a picture of a deer just because I feel like it looked kind of mystical and like woodland and fairy-like. And that little girl was from Pocket Journal Pam, and the purple one is from her as well. And then the girl hiding behind the door, that's from Terribly Creative. And this moment word is from Susie's Tiny Desk, and this is my field notes little journaling card. So we discovered it while taking a bike ride. It was just my husband and one of my daughters and I, and the two other kids were in the neighborhood, playing with friends. And we hadn't rode our bikes in this area for a really long time. And I saw like a bunch of trees, but then it looked like there was an opening into the trees, and there were flowers planted around this opening. And I said, oh my goodness, and it had all these decorations and, like rocks and pebbles and wind chimes, and different types of art and signage that said that it was like a fairy garden. And it was just super cute. And so the trees sort of made this canopy, like outdoor room, and I think a local business had put like a outdoor rug inside of it and put 2 chairs and put some potted plants and just hung up a bunch of cute, like inspirational pieces of art, like off the branches. So my little daughter, she wanted to keep it a secret from her sister and brother for a long time. But I told her, I said, hey, this could be a community art thing that we also contribute to. So we should create some things or some offerings, to give to the fairy garden. And so we visited Dollar Tree, and they had these packs of wooden flowers, and you could paint them. And it came like a pack of 5, and it came with like string for an ornament. And I said, oh, that's perfect. And we got 2 of those, like 2 different styles. And then we got little fairy garden figurines. And Dollar Tree has like, a few packs of different things, like a door or a tree god kind of thing, and like a welcome sign and a water pail, but they're all miniature. So we got those to decorate with in the fairy garden. So that was a lot of fun. And in this spread, that's what I'm journaling about. And I'm sorry I didn't mention the stuff I'm using. I actually got a huge like watercolor pack with tubes of watercolor from Walmart, because that's like my only local like area thing to get like craft supplies. I have to order them or drive like 45 minutes to go to like a Michael's or something. So we do have an art store, but it's kind of complicated to get to, and their supplies are like really limited to like, just a couple different brands. So I went to Walmart, and this pack of watercolor tubes was $10. And I had a feeling it wouldn't be the best because of the price. And, but I mean, they have pigment in them, but they don't look as natural as like probably fancier watercolors. But yeah, it took a while to get used to it. And I think if you are okay with having like a really faint pastel, finish, or pigment or translucency, I guess, maybe these are okay, just enough to give you some color. But when you use like a lot of pigment, it looks like streaky. So, but yeah, they're nice. I've been painting with them on just some mixed media paper and like cutting out little circles, like making some collage stuff. And they've been fine, but hopefully one day I'll update, to something like more fancy and handmade, so that you can really see the real like natural pigmentation. Once you do that, it looks like it's a real rock, or like a crystal, with different streaks and shades of color and stuff. But anyway, it's got a lot of different colors in it, and you can use a lot of them straight out of the tube because it gives you several colors for each color. So yeah, I just started out by making a background, just some simple circles like a lot of people do in their daily journals and their Hobonichis. And I grabbed this art piece that my daughter made, and she left it like unattended. And I said, hey, do you want this? And she said, no, not really. And I asked her if I could use it for my journal because I really like the texture. And so it kind of goes with the fairy theme and the colors that I wanted to use for this spread, and as well as the colors in all of the collage art that I cut out. So right here, I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put everything. And instead of putting the pictures, having scrap paper all behind the pictures, I just put a little bit because there's not very much contrast between the collage paper and the photographs. Because, the fairy garden was all greenery, so, so I didn't want to lose the photos, in the spread, so. And yeah, I just glue a little bit of the photo to the scrap paper, so it's still kind of like textured and three-dimensional. You can flip underneath it a little bit. A little bit of it will kind of curl up, you know, just so you can see the dimension and not everything is like so flat and glued on the paper. These photos were kind of repetitive. They were photos of different areas of the entrance, but they just looked way too similar for me. So this is when I decided to use a little tiny brad and just make it like an interactive swivel little book thing. I use these a lot. They really come in handy if you want to vary the way that you adhere things, you know. I use staplers, glue, and these tiny brads, and I just love them. So I just used an awl to create a little hole for them. And this I also got from Amazon, and there's just so many brads in the container, and they're all divided out by color, so they're great. And now I'm moving on to my little table scatter confetti pieces, and decided, wow, these would look really cute as a little element on the picture. So I stapled those to have more texture and some variation. And I'm really thinking about where I'm putting things like pictures and collage images from friends, because I want to make sure that there's contrast behind the images, because I don't want the fairy garden pictures to get even more lost in the journal spread. So I'm making sure that the art pieces and the pictures are in an area where the background contrasts and highlights the foreground. I hope that makes sense. So yeah. And I'm still going through my stash here. I'm already running out of room. That's the little image from Pocket Journal Pam. That little image, it just looked like some kind of like fairy or magical girl. And this is one of my favorites. I've used this one before. That's from Susie. It's the little fairy holding the fountain pen. And I wanted to make sure to use one of my pieces, so I got the Field Notes journal card. And though it's big, I just need to kind of play with the spread and change things around to see how I can fit everything. There's lots of times throughout this whole spread where I thought to myself that I could have stopped and it would have been really pretty, but I just kept going and going and going. And I think might need to practice a little bit of restraint and see if I can deal with like minimal spreads, you know. Just this, like this, you know, like I don't know. Like this would be fine, but I just needed to add more and more. And you'll see as the video goes, you'll see what else I do to it. Yeah, I had to redo that because, yeah, I didn't want double masking tape. So I glued the photo to the Field Notes journal card and then just taped that journal card. So I like using masking tape recently. I really do like it. I feel that it makes the spread cohesive. There's not a lot of different patterns and colors from washi tape, and it's a little bit transparent. And I feel like it has like a vintage look, and it's very, very inexpensive. And some people have been known to decorate their masking tape. I did that a long time ago where I put masking tape on some parchment paper, and I just, you know, messily painted over the masking tape and made different patterns and used that as like a collage tape or like a homemade washi tape, and it was really cool. Yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well. I really want to know how you guys are doing this summer. Is it busy for you? Has it slowed down? And what is the weather like where you are? Are you miserable? Are you comfortable? If you're comfortable, I want to come to you. I want to see where you are. I want to go there. Because it's pretty muggy and hot down in the southeast. So yeah, my kids are just like, they're in a little camp right now, and today is their last day. And Yes, they're already like grumbling and rumbling about the schedule and being bored, but we found this huge, thick book from Highlights magazine. I hope you guys remember that, the Highlights magazines. They created like the big book of stuff to do or something. So the kids have been looking through that and coming up with games and building stuff out of it. And I'm just so happy about that. But they do whine and stuff, but I have been staying strong and I've been sticking to the schedule and I've been making them tidy their room every day. So that's been going okay. And I do have a cold right now. I think the kids got it from somebody else, like another little kid at the camp, and now I'm kind of nasally. But yeah, I added some office stickers. I've been adding these a lot, and I think I could have gone without them, and they would have had a more, natural, magical look. But I think the office stickers kind of punks it up, like makes it a little more modern, I guess. And yeah, I like to use Pocket Journal Pam's little creatures where she puts them like up against the edges of her collage sheets. And so that's where I put them, on the edge of my journaling spots. And I love to put some of them upside down. And so she's good with those types of things that you can use to put, on edges. And yeah, I like that. I like that idea because you wonder what's on the outside of this image. What's beyond the edges. There's something more. So I think that's kind of cool. Here I used my cheap little fountain pen. I can't remember the Kukuko or something. Uh, it's kind of kawaii-ish, and I think it's a pretty decent pen. I don't have any problems with it. It's just hard to write on the paper where there's other things, that you've done in previous pages. It kind of gets bumpy. So yeah, I think that's why a pencil board might be helpful to put in there. But yeah, the fountain pens are really sharp, and so it's easy to kind of poke through the papers. That's one of my only complaints with it. So I looked at the spread and I didn't want to keep writing on the other side because I thought, again, it would just get lost and it would all look muddled together. But I did want to I did want to balance it more. So I got black glitter paint, and it's by Folk Art. And I spread that in like little splotch, like empty spaces on the right page. And again, I could have stopped here, but I just kept going and going and going. So you guys let me know what you think a good stopping point would have been. I'd love to hear your opinion. But yeah, I love this stuff. And yeah, I don't like just getting loose glitter because it's super messy. But this stuff contains the glitter. It's almost like a glue, but it's like a mixture of like like matte medium and glitter, or something like that. I can't really explain it very well, but it's kind of like Fabritac and glitter mixed together, I think. I don't know if that would be a good description or comparison. And here I wanted to add even more, and I just covered up the photographs with some paper so it wouldn't get splashed. And I didn't do too well. One of the pictures ended up getting splashed on my daughter's face. But these are the FW acrylic inks, which I have like about every freaking color, but I do not use them. I used to use them a lot, like a few years back, but I just don't use them. I can't figure out how to use them well, and I just don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I just haven't found, I guess, a good paper to use with it. I just don't like the texture that it leaves. And but it's good for like sprinkling little drops of ink, if that's what you want to do. So that's what I'm trying here. And I used a purple and then a blue. And then I just felt like I needed more of a pop. So I finished it off with this like extremely hot pink ink, which is really nice. If you were to get the ink, I would just probably go with, a few neon colors, because because those are really the ones that are interesting to me. So yeah, I really thank you guys for joining me today, and I'm sorry that I have a cold and I'm just like kind of drained. But I hope you guys like this and you find some kind of inspiration here. I am so excited to finish the composition book, but I still have a ways to go. I'm not sure if I like this method yet. I'm not really sure. I don't feel as loose in it as I did the smaller punk journals. But yeah, I wanna see what your comments are, and I'd love to hear from you. And I want to say thank you, especially to my lovely patrons that are very generous, and some of them have been with me the whole time since I started over a year ago. And I just think that is beyond generous, and I'm so thankful, and I can't explain in words just how much it means to me. I just can't believe it. I'm in disbelief. Thanks for believing in me, and thanks for being here. Please like and subscribe if you are up to it, and remember to stay creative.